Hello and welcome to another edition of BattleTech Advanced, brought to you by Commando Gaming Strategic Gaming, brought to you live on twitch.tv at Commando Gaming 1. We're continuing our series on BattleTech Advanced this morning. Looking forward to a fun stream. Hopefully we're not going to have the power issues that we had yesterday at the midpoint of our stream and at the end of our stream. But I think we will have better luck today. I'm also working on getting a power backup system to make sure we don't have those problems in the future. Since it has happened several times since I moved my studio. So let's just nip that in the bud and we'll add a power backup. Which is good. In addition to that, long term, I anticipate adding solar to my house probably in the next 2 months. In the process of looking at options for that, and that will further reduce any issues with the power nodes, the power network. So looking forward to getting that resolved. We're loading up right now. Hey, Andre, I'm going to look at the Discord today for sure. So let me look at the Discord today. Sorry, I didn't get to it yesterday. I just had a lot of things to do around the house, and I did not get back to the internet or to the computer after my stream yesterday. So I will look at the Discord throughout the day today and take a look at what you posted or what you direct messaged me, and then give you some feedback. So that's probably a good way of doing it. So let me look through what you sent me and I'll give you some feedback on each piece, and then we could certainly set up a follow-up Discord later on. How's that sound, Andre? I want to definitely look at that artwork because IMG said it has some cool notes to it. So let's definitely check that out. So I appreciate your efforts to get it over to me. I do. All right, so we're going to pick up where we left off yesterday with this incomplete intelligence. Technically, we've tried this mission 3 times, and the last 2 times, or we've tried it twice. This will be the 3rd time, and both of the last 2 times things were going well, and then we had a power issue. So hopefully 3 times the charm on this opportunity. So let's take a look at what we have. We're going to take our Awesome, our Mackie, our Archer, our Dervish, our Champion, and our Wraith. Instead of the Champion, we're going to take the Grasshopper. I just didn't like what the Grasshopper did for me. So yeah, so Andrea, I'll definitely take a look at all the art you sent me on Discord. I really appreciate you doing that, and I'll give you some input on each of the pieces, and then we could talk about setting up a follow-up meeting. One thing that we would really have a use for, Andre, is we need kind of like a distinctive logo for the channel. So if you had any ideas on that, that would be really cool if we could put together some sort of a logo for the channel. That's something we've been struggling on. We interchange a couple different pictures from time to time, but it would be cool if we could start putting together some branding for our channel. So But let me talk. Let me look at what you sent me first, and then we can talk about it. All right. So grasshopper wraith. I'm taking the grasshopper instead of the wraith, or instead of the champion. I just didn't like what the champion does for us. At least with the grasshopper, I can always go in and do punchy, punchy, stomp, stomp. I can't really do that with the champion. So yes, the grasshopper does overheat a little bit, but I just don't like the champion. I like those SRM6 streaks that the champion has, so we're going to use that on another mech, but I think I was right in my initial impressions that the champion is not really a champion, if you know what I mean. Its firepower is kind of meh, and its armor has a lot lacking, and that's very common for mechs in the 60 to 70 ton range. You know, the lighter range of the heavies really ends up with a lot of mechs that have issues, right? So you have a Jagger mech, which I love in its direct fire support mission, but if it gets caught by the enemy, they get wrecked. So, you know, the same kind of thing with the rifleman. You have the same situation. But with any mech, you just have to use them within their role. The problem is I can't figure out what the right role is for a champion. So maybe a scout, but they're kind of slow to be a scout. They're definitely not brawlers. And you could say they're direct fire support, but they're quite frankly better mechs for direct fire support than the champion. So, alright, we are going to succeed with this mission.
This reminds me of my childhood, back on the farm.
We've tried this 3 times.
Confirmed.
Luckily, we ended up with a different mission each time. Probably because we had to do a restart of the computer each time. So let's go for it. Hey, Andre, don't be negative.
Move ordered.
Don't be negative at all. I mean, they're anything that we endeavor to do as human beings is going to be a progression, right? So, you know, we don't, as humans, we don't get up and walk. We actually start, as humans, we start with the simple act of raising our heads and holding our heads up. And then we start to crawl. And then we start to stagger around. And then we start to fumble around. And then eventually, as humans, we start to walk around.
I'm walking here.
So,
Position confirmed.
we can't get frustrated with our progress as human beings. Everything you do, except for a select few people that are natural
Location
talents,
confirmed.
you have to develop your abilities over time, right? There's no... the number of people in our society that are naturally gifted at what they do is extremely small. If you look at percentages, you know, our gifted athletes, our gifted artists, our gifted musicians, the number that actually start right off are truly rare. You know, I give you a good example. Mozart is probably a good example. He started composing orchestra pieces when he was 6 years old. That doesn't happen to a normal person. That's just an extremely rare scenario. So we kind of have to think of ourselves that way as imperfect, but trying to strive to become closer to perfect every day.
Good to go.
So, I mean, for example, in my day job, I've been doing it for 25 years, and I still feel like I get a little better every day.
Ready, Commander.
Same thing for streaming is a good example. If you could see some of my early streaming efforts, it was rough. But now I feel like I'm a competent streamer. I'm not going to go as far to say I'm a amazing streamer, but I'm definitely better than I was 3 years ago when I started. So, in fact, I started streaming when this first game came out. I started streaming, I think, a month before BattleTech came out. So, I'm coming up on my 3-year anniversary, and I just don't. I feel like I finally got my sea legs for streaming, maybe a year ago. So we're all trying to take our passions and turn them into something that we're good at, whether it's your career,
I'm receiving you.
artwork, streaming, friendships. We're all trying to get a little better every time, and that's what you have to focus on.
Talk to me.
In everything in life, whether it's artwork or your hobbies or your job, we're all gonna slowly get better over time. That's just the way things are. Alright, got a quick draw. I feel like we want to hit this hostile more than we want to hit this quick draw,
Say goodbye.
because that hostile is an energy build too. But the hostile historically has more problems with heat than even the quick draw, and the quick draw has lots of heat problems. Alright. So, I mean, I think that's the way we need to think of everything in life, is we're just trying to improve a little bit over time. I kind of would go to a sports analogy, because I think that's what a lot of people can relate to. Okay? So, in baseball, if you succeed one time out of every 3, you're considered a Hall of Fame baseball player. I'm talking about baseball, about hitting percentage specifically. But, that's a sport where literally if you are successful
All in ass.
one time out of 3, you are considered a great baseball player.
Acknowledged.
So I think you kind of have to think about that way. I mean, but a baseball player doesn't start out as hitting 1 out of 3. Maybe they hit 2 out of 10, right?
Going full throttle.
And they might spend 5 or 6 years just going from 2 out of 10 to 3 out, or 1 out of 3, right? So that's kind of the way we need to look at our lives. Like, how can we... Oh, did that hostile overheat? Looks like that hostile overheated and shut down. Let's take advantage of that by going for his head. Oh, we got a head hit. Nice. Nice. So that is what I would say. Is just try to get a little better every day. And if you can look at your work and say, you know what, that was just a little bit better than what I did yesterday, or You know, that is a little bit more beautiful than what I did yesterday. If you're talking about artwork or something like that. So that's the way we have to measure ourselves, because human nature makes a healthy individual its own worst critic. Okay, so there are people who are narcissists and self-absorbed who feel like they can do no wrong. But a conscience and a healthy ego causes us to look at ourselves and question what we're doing. That's perfectly natural.
Ready for orders.
But sometimes we could be overly critical of ourselves when you think about it. You know, I think we're all guilty of sometimes being overly critical of our successes and failures. Alright, we either have a mech with Thumper,
I'm here.
alright, let's keep pushing forward here. It's truth, when I was looking at my oldest work, I felt I was a little bit, that I'm drawing a little better now. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you were drawing a little bit better than you were back then. Did you send
Alright.
them to me chronologically? Because that will help me give you feedback, actually. I wouldn't resend them if you didn't send them chronologically, but that would be helpful in the future if you send things in order, so I can better understand your progress. Oh, okay, you did. That's perfect. That's the best way for me to try to help you. All right, we got a 55 tonner there. What if we get some Inferno on that 55 tonner that's coming up?
Target
Try to
confirmed.
get some overheating going on that mech. One of the things when you use
Come on,
sniper
people. Let's make it
artillery,
happen.
especially Inferno artillery, you've got to look at it strategically and not tactically. So, for those of you that don't have military experience, there is a difference.
On the move.
Okay, so
Full speed.
tactical is a decision that you make that impacts Hey Googles, thank you for joining us. I don't believe it. I don't believe it, folks. We had the same power problem again. Let me check. Hold on, let me check my heat. I do have a heat gauge for my computer, but I don't think this is a heat problem. But we just had the same issues with the same mission. It's good to see you, Googles. We're just having a little technical problem here. I'm going to check my temperature on my computer. It's the only thing I could think of. But it seems like we have power problems at about the same time every day. No, it's not a problem with power. It is absolutely not a problem with heat. My system is running nice and cool. That is not the problem. The only thing I could think of is there a problem with that actual mission for some reason? Because that's the third time that that's happened. So we're going to do a reload on that mission. Yeah, I see that. My camera is grainy and super dark. So, I'm working with one of the problems I have with my studio is I'm waiting for blinds to arrive, and when I stream, the sun comes up and it screws up my lighting every time. So I'm actually going to shut down BattleTech again. I'm starting to think there is a problem with that mission because it's happened 3 times in a row. So while BattleTech is loading up, let's play around with our settings for our camera. Hate to do this on camera, but all right, there we go. There we go. All right, that's better. It didn't take too long. So I'm starting up BattleTech again. I don't know why. That's the 3rd time we've crashed on that mission. I'm not sure if it's just a bug. I'm not sure if it's a bug with that one mission because we've had that happen 3 times. So we're not going to play that mission again. So let me get BattleTech back up. Sorry for the wait. Google, tell us what's going on with you this morning while we wait for BattleTech to load up. How are you doing? What are you up to? Hopefully the camera's a little better now. It still looks grainy. Let's see what we can do about that. Still a little grainy, so let's play around with the probably as good as we're going to get it today. Problem is, like I said, with the uneven lighting, with streaming, lighting is probably the most important part of your visual for your camera, your face streaming is definitely, a lot of it has to do with the lighting. And right now I have inconsistent lighting because when I start my stream where I am, it's very dark, and then by the time I end the stream, the sun is up, so it constantly messes around with my lighting because I don't have any blinds right now. All right, so we're gonna do the load for that mission, but we're not gonna do that mission again. You could draw a mech. Yeah, you could draw, Andrew. You could draw like maybe your favorite mech or a iconic mech. Hey, that's nice. A Battle Master Google's is a really solid mech for vanilla BattleTech or even BTA. I do love the Battle Master. The Battle Master is not about firepower. The Battle Master is about being able to take hits and brawl. So it's a fine line. You obviously want to get as much firepower as you can out of the Battle Master, but when in doubt, you don't want to take so much armor from the Battle Master that it can't brawl and be a frontliner for you. All right, so let's try this again. We are not going to do that mission again. Let's do this other destroy base mission. It could just be that mission has a bug in it. Because the fact that it happened 3 times in a row, and there's no other problems with my system. So I think there might just be a bug with that particular mission. Alright. So let's do this 3 skull destroy the mission. That's good. That's a good way to looking at it. The Battlemaster does have a lot of things going for it. But the biggest thing you want with a Battlemaster is if a Battlemaster has so little armor that you feel like it can't go toe-to-toe with any enemy, at least while the rest of the lance finishes it off, then you're probably overpowered and under-tonned with armor. So that would be my 2 cents on the Battlemaster. I love the Battlemaster. You know, some people would say, well, it's not 100 tons, it's not 90 tons. No, but the Battlemaster does what it's supposed to do really, really well. And that's really the goal for Battletech, is there isn't one mech that does everything perfectly. But there are lots of mechs that do things very well.
These trees remind me of home.
So Google's, when you complete the campaign, you will not lose all of your mechs. You can actually just keep playing basically a career mode. But if you start a brand new career mode, if you start a brand new career mode of BattleTech, you'll start from scratch. But you shouldn't look at it as losing your mechs, because when you start BattleTech Advanced, you want to start out with light mechs, because that will help you appreciate some of the nuances of the game. In BattleTech Advanced, you aren't in such... Bigger is not always better in BattleTech Advanced.
I copy.
So you can't think of, well, if I start the mod, I'm going to lose all these cool mechs that I put together. It's more like, I'm going to have a better experience because I might have lower mechs, but the mechs I have that are light are actually going to do more things for me than even an assault did for me in vanilla BattleTech.
Onward.
So you can't look at it as additions from subtraction. So bigger is not better for BattleTech Advanced. It's actually... progressing in BattleTech Advanced is about upping your pilots and finding the right components, because you have a wider latitude of components in BattleTech Advanced to make the most of the mechs that you have. So don't feel like, oh, I'm going from a Atlas to a Jenner. That sucks. It's going to be, wow, I could do more things with that Jenner than I could do with the Jenner in the basic game, if that makes sense to you. So don't look at it as subtraction. You know, plus there's so many more light mechs in BattleTech Advanced than in regular BattleTech. You're actually going to have a lot of fun playing with your light mechs and your medium mechs and your heavy mechs, because there's so much variety. You know, probably half of my favorite light mechs are not in the base game. They're in BattleTech Advanced. You know, a good example would be a Wolfhound, which is not in the base game, but it's one of my favorite light mechs. So that's the way you got to look at it here. All right. Okay. Let's go this way.
Understood. Moving fast.
Let's take out the mechs, and then we'll worry about the enemy buildings. Hopefully we won't have a crash here, but I'm really starting to think those issues might be coming from that particular mission. Alright, what do we got here? Awestruck. Not my favorite mech. So let's do a precision strike here. See if we can just get this awestruck off the field quickly. So don't look at when you switch from regular BattleTech to modded BattleTech. The whole idea
damage to an enemy structure.
that bigger goes better, bigger is better, is not the case anymore. So it's all about what you can do with the mechs and what you can do with the components that you can
Ready,
pick up.
Commander?
So if you can say to yourself,
Moving, Commander.
hey, I've really maxed out what I could do on that Jenner, then then you'll feel like, okay, it's time to move up to something more complicated. It's not like, oh, I've got to get rid of that Jenner as quickly as possible. It doesn't work that way with BattleTech. I mean, you give me a light mech with the right components,
I'm ready.
and I can absolutely wreck an assault mech.
I'll race ya.
It's really about the right components and the right strategy. If you have those, then you'll be successful. Bigger is not better in BattleTech. BattleTech, modded BattleTech, bigger is not better. And one of the things that the base game
I'm receiving you.
does a disservice to some of the people that are playing modded later is you kind of get that mentality of, oh, bigger is always better. And that's not the case.
Roger.
Talk to me. On my way.
Alright, let's keep hitting this awestruck if we
Confirm.
can. Ooh, nice hit on that awestruck. Wow.
Ready for orders.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, let's keep working on... Actually, let's move up our... One of the things my Wraith is really good at is staying fast and evasive, and it has all these medium lasers, which really make it a natural turret killer, even if it takes a couple rounds. Because the Wraith has all those medium lasers. Ooh, injury resisted on my Wraith there. Alright. I do want to remind everybody, if you didn't see our last stream, we do have a challenge available for you that you can spend your... thank you for following Hinden1381. You can use your channel points to donate towards a challenge between myself and IMG, where we will play head-to-head PvP for the title of BTA champ on our channel. To do that, if you see the bubble icon underneath where it says send a message, if you click on that, you can dedicate some of your channel points towards the goal of the donation to set up that grudge match between me and IMG. Now, I say grudge match just to add drama to it. It's not like we hate each other. In fact, we're really good friends. And what we'll do is basically have a series of rounds.
I can't take much more of this.
6,000 total towards the grudge match. Thank you, Shamsuki. Up another 10,000 for the BTA grudge match. Really appreciate that. We are probably close to halfway there. Andre, wow. We are really getting towards that grudge match total. Really appreciate that. So what we'll do is we're going to schedule something at a prime time so everybody hopefully can see it. And we're going to have a series of matches. Probably, I would say 5 matches, and it'll be whoever wins the first 3 is going to end up being the champ. And we'll see who can win and get the have the most success in the mission. So it'll be fun. It'll be a fun little challenge.
Dealt a heavy hit
We're
there.
also working on getting someone to be the third party like announcer and play-by-play commentator for the stream, so they can kind of see what the success is like.
Commander?
Now we're gonna have to set up some safeguards. One thing we might actually do, and I'm just thinking about this out loud, is what we'll probably do is we're probably going to record it first, and then we can stream it after. And the reason I would do that is because we don't want anybody taking a peek at the stream to figure out what each other's strategies are. So it might make sense for us to record it,
Farewell, sweet prince.
record our head-to-head match
Yes, Commander.
without streaming, and then we will replay it. But it'll be live for you guys, and then IMG and myself can kind of give play-by-play about what we were thinking at that particular time. I think that could be a way to go. Let's see what you guys think about it.
10-4.
Or we could just use the honor system and see if we could do it live, but we'll just have an understanding that whoever isn't streaming it cannot look at the stream. Not sure how we would do that. I'll have to figure it out, but there's got to be a way to do that.
Ready for orders.
You know, we had yet another problem with the stream. Sorry, folks. Yeah, you know what? I have to check the Discord and see if maybe there's something. Let me take a quick look. Because it seems really odd that we're having all these problems right after I did the update to 8.2. Let me just check the Nexus mods. Sorry for that, everybody. In fact, I'm going to... Let me just check real quick. Was there an update between to maybe to a 8.3? Because it seems really odd that we're having these problems right when I updated to 8.2. I'm wondering if there was something in 8.2 that's causing issues. Launch BTA. No, there's no update. I'm going to go check out the Discord, guys. So we're going to end the stream really short today. Sorry about that. Believe me, I'm disappointed too, but I've got to figure out what's going on with this game that we're having serious system issues every time we play it now. So I might have to do a reinstall and restart of the game. I would hate to do that, so let me do some research. I'll get back to you. Andre, in the meantime, I will be looking at your artwork and getting back to you as well. So sorry for the short stream today. Unfortunately,